Apparently, I am just obsessed with creating series to what? Make treatment better. Of course I am. That's the name of this channel. This is the first episode of Rehab Your Rehab. Okay? Y'all need to get it together. And in this first episode, I'm going to tell you how to make sure that you're hiring staff who could actually do the job and do it well. I'm not talking about putting butts in seats or filling some sort of requirement in your organization for how many kinds of employees you need to have. I'm talking about people who will actually, first of all, not quit. Second of all, even if they're there, a lot of the people who don't quit are actually the people who either have nowhere to go or they genuinely are not good at their job and so they're just holding on to this job. And then others are just so complacent because they know that you're complacent. And so many case management operations are just extremely inefficient. Like I see people running around and they swear it's because they have a large caseload. When I look into it, it's really mismanagement of time. Yes, there are some places like that, but even the places where they have an overwhelming caseload, overwhelming, they're still mismanaging their time. So, what do we do? Well, first of all, I need you to think differently about who you hire and why. Because turnover rate is not just people quitting. Turnover rate is having people in there wasting time, money, energy, and resources for your company. Why do you want to do that? I'm so shocked. And so, you know what? Let's start all the way at the top of the process of bringing someone on the team. The job description. So today we're going to be reviewing some job descriptions for case managers in the behavioral health field. I just did a search on Indeed, my least favorite website. Why is it my least favorite? I don't want to get into that right now. My least favorite website because that's where a lot of employers post jobs. And I'm just going to react to some of these job descriptions. So are you ready? I'm ready. Okay, so this is Los Angeles. Okay, Los Angeles. Okay, these are case managers for like legal case managers. What's Harbor Regional Center? I am not sure exactly what that is exactly. Okay, at Harbor Regional Center, we envision a world where everyone with a developmental disability has meaningful relationships, is respected and empowered. Okay, beautiful. Under the direction of the client services manager, services coordinator, case managers are responsible for providing service coordination for individuals with disabilities and their families. Okay, well, let's look at the essential duties. Individual and family assessment. Oh my gosh, this is the worst I've ever read in my entire life. I don't know what's going on. Let me breathe. Let me do a quick meditation. And a quick mindfulness. What do I see? I see white wall, laptop, phone, table, cup. What do I hear? Buzzing outside. I hear my breath. I hear silence. Okay, I think that's enough. All right, I don't know why the computer just did that. All right, let's go back to this. Okay, planning and provision for appropriate services and supports, evaluation and monitoring of service delivery and advocacy. All right. So, what are the skills and abilities that they're asking for? Understanding of family systems and human dynamics. Human dynamics, I don't know what they mean by that. Do they mean just human behavior? Human dynamics, I don't even think I've seen that term used. I think they're just talking about, human behavior. All right. Familiarity with prevailing philosophy in the field of developmental disabilities. Okay, this is very broad. Strong organizational and time management skills. Demonstrated ability to work independently and cooperatively as part of an interdisciplinary team. What are the minimum employment standards? Bachelor's degree and at least 1 year of post-BA/BS paid work experience. A related master's degree is preferred. Not less than 1 year, they should have said at least 1 year, experience working in programs offering child and family assessment services, case management, service coordination, family support, and referral services or similar services. Preferred but not required, these languages, okay, and a driver's license. And this, okay, so this is, let's look at their benefits: 401k, dental insurance, EAP. Okay, so what is wrong with this job description? First of all, these job descriptions are way too long, and a lot of this is really broad. So the problem is, it starts right. This is the one that gets me. Strong organizational and time management skills. That is going to attract so many people. This job description is going to attract so many people and so many applications. And I know we're living in a time where the job market is super freaking weird and these companies are extremely disrespectful and taking advantage because, and it's not even the companies, it's the people who work at the companies who are in positions that they think they have some sort of power and they're really taking advantage and wasting people's time. Strong organizational and time management skills. Okay, let's go over to this job description that I wrote. How do you make this bigger? View, zoom in. So I'm going to highlight this. This will intimidate people. Let's read this. Actually, let me copy and paste it down here. This right here. Ability to create organizational systems to aid in managing a caseload of multiple clients with varying deadlines. Okay, this, anyone can do this. Anyone can have strong organizational and time management skills, or they could easily lie about it. But do you have the ability to create organizational systems to aid in managing a caseload of multiple clients with varying deadlines? Because that's why a lot of these case managers are overwhelmed. Some companies, their operations are just extremely inefficient and all their processes are very inefficient, but even there's opportunity to be more organized. But again, that's a kind of a different issue that's amplified by the fact that people don't know how to do this. They don't know how to create organizational systems to aid in managing a caseload of multiple clients, because say part of the systems are outdated, or say that they do end up having a large caseload, someone quits, whatever. If you don't have the systems in place, you're not going to be able to handle that. So there we go. And then there's something else right here. I didn't even read this before I wrote this job description, by the way. And this is just a very kind of like a rough draft. So demonstrated ability to work independently and cooperatively as part of an interdisciplinary team. Literally everyone can do that. Literally a child can do that. They could work by themselves, independent reading time, or they could work with their classmates. This is going to attract everyone. You need these jobs descriptions to actually deter people. Because if I go to a job description and I can't do the stuff in the job description, I am not going to apply. And this, literally anyone can do it. And the reason I'm advocating for people to actually work on who they're actually bringing into the organization is because, the title of this channel is Make Treatment Better, right? A lot of the reason why treatment sucks in some cases, or parts of it suck, and the client experience is just so mediocre, is because you're attracting too many broad individuals. What just happened? ¿Qué pasa? Okay, my apologies. Anyone can do this. Demonstrated ability to work independently. Do you go to school? Did you go to elementary school? Then you can work independently and cooperatively as part of an interdisciplinary team. And guys, I literally did not read this job description before I wrote this. So here's another one that I'm going to highlight. Work effectively with a team, demonstrating positivity and helpfulness while fostering a healthy and supportive work environment. Because working on a team, what does that mean? That just means you work in the same building. That just means you're working for the same company. That means you guys are both employed by the same organization. And this cooperatively part, no. This is better. While fostering a healthy and supportive work environment. And I'm going to tell you why this matters in just a second, but this is much better. Okay, let's talk about this one's hilarious. Understanding of family systems and human dynamics. Okay. Yeah. That's very broad. You understand family systems and human dynamics if you've lived, okay? And this is not a job for like a psychologist. So you have to just understand it on a basic level. Okay. What I'm trying to see. Oh, here's one that I wrote. Again, didn't read this job description before. Understanding principles of trauma-informed care and building rapport with clients while maintaining appropriate boundaries. Or you could also say, I guess just write this right now. Let me see. Here, I'm going to type this. And so that's one. I know they mentioned the degrees, but the abilities, I guess they're saying, okay, this education piece is not actually part of what you need to do, but this one is understanding principles of trauma-informed care and building rapport with clients while maintaining appropriate boundaries. That's, and then the family systems part, okay, understanding of family systems and human dynamics. If you studied social work, psychology, or something similar, you would have already learned that. But do you know how to actually, conflict resolution would be a better fit here than whatever this is. So saying, understanding how to manage conflicting goals within a family system, because that's going to deter people from this job description. Okay, so this is a pretty basic case manager job description. Okay, let's look at somewhere else. This is healthcare, so that's not where we're talking about behavioral health. And I'm looking through and I'm seeing a lot of legal. Okay, another reason for Indeed to be my least favorite website, it just made me sign in. For what reason? I do not know. So what's ALF? Case manager. Libertana. Okay. This is remote/field. Qualifications. So bachelor's in this. Current CPR. Knowledge, assisted living. Experience in the field of education, quality assurance, and management. Exercises excellent judgment and knowledge of clinical practices. Okay, this one's better. This one's already starting to build good organization skills. So first of all, why did they put good? They should have put great. Good organization skills. This is a terrible bullet point. Let's go back. Something like this. Ability to create organizational systems to aid in managing a caseload. Like something, what does good organization skills actually look like on the job? You could also say something like, understand how to manage multiple high priority clients with varying needs while also meeting deadlines. Good organization skills, no, because too many people are going to be like, oh, I have good organization skills. I went to college for this. No. So is self-directed with the ability to work with little supervision. Okay. No. Everyone can work with little supervision. Now, there's some exceptions where some people work very poorly, but no one wants to be supervised if they don't need to, which most of the time you don't need to. It's a little bit different in like a safety setting. I'm talking about case management. You do not need to be supervised, and you don't need nobody looking over your shoulder and controlling you. Actually, less supervision is better And by supervision, I'm just meaning someone breathing down your neck, not like you just left to do whatever you want to do. Is self-directed. Okay, let's go back to my job description. Let's look at this first one. Ability to take ownership of a client's case throughout the duration of their time receiving services is better. And also demonstration of leadership skills, something like that. And then a description of what leadership skills looks like in case management. For example, being able to determine the best course of action for clients who have high priority needs or who have high needs and varying levels of coping skills. That's actually what being self-directed with little supervision looks like as a case manager. Hey, it's me, Ali from Cali. I'm not gonna leave you hanging. In the description box, click the link because there you are going to be taken to a download about how to hire better case managers. I'm going to have sample job descriptions as well as a step-by-step process to vet your staff, okay? We don't want any more people slipping through who just shouldn't be there. And I know you think maybe some of the people on your staff already or some of the people you've encountered do an okay job and that's all they need to do, but trust me, there are people out there who want to work hard and who will actually take ownership of their job and make operations in your organization so much more efficient, save you time and money, and just make your clients have a better experience. And the client experience is what? Your business card. So check the link in the description for that guide. Okay, proficient in the use of computers, electronic information systems. Now, let me say this too, for you watching this. I know that some of this is like legally what they have to require to put in here in terms of they have to address certain things like proficient in the use of computers and electronic information systems. Okay, well, if you're applying for this job, that's probably true. What I would put in here more or better instead of this, proficient in the use of computers, is being able to solve problems independently using technology-based solutions and navigating electronic information systems to manage a caseload of several clients with varying needs, like whatever, something like that. Okay, ability to establish and maintain good communication and relationships with office, field, and administrative personnel. This one's better than the last one. I still don't like it. I like this one better. And the reason, work effectively with the team, demonstrating positivity and helpfulness while fostering a healthy and supportive work environment. What I would like better than this is high standards of professionalism, communicating with something like with the ability to communicate professionally and resolve conflict in a healthy, mature manner. Things like that, which I'm just coming up with that off the top, but something like that. Okay, must be a licensed driver, familiar with Title 22. All right, and this is just like the daily workflow. I think something about mandated reporting should actually be in here. So the ability to identify unsafe situations that require mandated reporting in a trauma-informed and ethical manner, something like that. Because again, that's just gonna, if you add stuff like this, it's gonna deter people who are like, I can't do that. Because let me tell you, a lot of people are not rising to the occasion because they were misled to believe that they could do it. And unfortunately, that's reinforced by the employer keeping them on staff when, or just not understanding just how inefficient a lot of these case managers are. Okay. Talk about care coordinator. So this was actually for a senior living facility, I believe. Okay, wise and healthy aging. Since we already did senior living, well, let me just take a brief look at it. Conduct biopsychosocials. BPS is. Okay, this one's a lot better. But they're also requiring a master's. So that's why they have like these very written care plan. These are things you're actually allowed to do without a master's. But see, this is This job description should be for all the job descriptions that they're doing for the people who they're only requiring or the jobs that they're only requiring bachelors for. This is what it should look like. Okay, this one says conduct biopsychosocial in-home assessments, develop a written care plan, identify appropriate resources, and why do you need a master's to do this? The master's level people need to be doing something else. Licensed clinical social worker social worker preferred. They're paying this for a master's? ¿Qué? Pasa? Okay, no. Write accurate, thorough, and specific client assessments. See, this is what it needs to look like, and I think now it's starting to click for me. I think part of the reason that those broad case manager jobs with terrible descriptions that are bringing in unfit people is because they're saving these descriptions for master's degree, which the master's LCSW, licensed clinical social worker, needs to be more of a consultant for the staff rather than this, or the case manager could do all of this and the LCSW needs to just be a consultant managing everyone. But this one's a lot better. 31 for this, for a master's, you can make 31 as a case manager doing this exact same thing. So I don't know about that. Okay, Weinhardt. Is it Weinhardt or Weingart? To clients. I'm just trying to figure out what this organization is. Properly document, because it looks like a case manager. I just want to know what their population is. Let's go to mental health. I see. Okay, lead case manager of this. Let's see what it is. I've heard of this company before. Mental health services. Okay. Lead case manager, full-time hybrid position. Okay. Let's see. This is the salary this is in Inglewood, so this salary is a little bit concerning. Okay. Primary duties. Serve as primary point of contact for the family's authorized representative, caregiver. Okay. Assess member needs in the areas of physical health, mental health, substance use, community-based long-term services and supports, oral health, palliative care, trauma-informed care. Okay. Develops comprehensive case management plan with input from a multidisciplinary team as well as the member to ensure a whole person approach is taken. All right. So this job description is better. But what are they? I want to see what the qualifications are for this. I'm so curious. So fluency in Spanish, bachelor's degree. Okay, do you see how this looks just like the one requiring a master's degree? An MSW? I don't, because they're asking for all this. This job description is a lot better. This is gonna draw people in who actually can do the job. But 21 per hour, when this is like identical to the last one that we just did and they were requiring a master's. This seems like a hard job too. More than 1,000 dedicated employees. I don't know. This job description is a lot better, and someone's going to read this, and a lot of people are going to get turned off by this, which is actually positive because it means that they know that this is too much for them. Yeah, but this is a case manager job. Okay, cool. And then this is lead case manager. Oh my dear. Okay, lead. Okay. So that's mental health. Let's look at, I was just going to say substance use. Let's look at substance abuse counselor. Van Nuys, this is American Health Services. Not familiar with it, so this is great. Motto, patients come first. Love that. Okay, American Health Services. I love that. Guiding principle, our clinic provides environment enabling physicians, counselors, patients, and all staff members to work as a team. with mutual respect and dignity throughout the recovery process. Ooh, I gotta look into American Health Services. They're speaking my language. Okay, American Health Services, I see you. If you are looking for an opportunity to thrive in a motivating, challenging, and diversified work environment, where you can express creativity, wait a second. We invite you to connect with our company. We are a company of second chances and encourage everyone to apply and join our amazing team. Okay, American Health Services, I'm really intrigued by their philosophy. So this is an opioid treatment program delivering clinically appropriate patient-centered substance use disorder services. So seems like a MAT clinic. Okay. NTP, yeah, narcotics treatment program. So key responsibilities: conducting comprehensive screening and biopsychosocial assessments, collaborating with the treatment team to complete the intake and admission process. I don't like this one. Okay. You always have to collaborate no matter where you work, unless you work totally by yourself. Collaborating, how do you want them to collaborate? Because someone watching this saying, yeah, I could collaborate. I had to collaborate at my last job. Duh, you have to work with people. You have to ask for help. How can you do it? How do you want it to be done? So American Health Services, they say that based on this, they don't say it explicitly. They're probably looking for someone positive to be able to collaborate with. So this one would be perfect for them that I wrote. Work effectively with the team, demonstrating positivity and helpfulness while fostering a healthy and supportive work environment. Based on what they're saying here, collaborating with team, I would also add being open to feedback, something along those lines. Being able to take critical feedback from leaders and implement it in order to support clients' holistic treatment, whatever, something like that. Okay. Developing and implementing individualized treatment plans. Okay, here's why I don't like this one, because a lot of people have done this who shouldn't be doing this, and a lot of people say that they can do this well and they actually can't. Instead, what I would have put here is like breaking down what it takes to complete a treatment plan. So I would say assessing biopsychosocial needs of individual clients and working collaboratively to create measurable SMART goals to help them achieve the goals determined by the treatment team, something like that, where you break it down. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, I can do treatment plan, and they cannot. Okay, provide individual counseling, group counseling, and case management services. Okay, I do not like this one at all. They should have broken down what it takes, because these are just the responsibilities. This is not even, these are responsibilities, key responsibilities. They need to break down what this takes. So they shouldn't have put all of this in one line. They're asking for a counselor, case manager hybrid, which I've done a lot. They need to break down more case management services. Maybe they kind of do. They do. It's the individual and group counseling that's triggering me right now, because I know they need to be providing trauma-informed, empathetic services to help clients meet goals with the ability to intervene in crisis situations. Like, they need to make it that more intimidating. Like, where's DD mental services? Okay, like this one, okay? Because they're doing exactly what these people are doing, and their description's going to intimidate people more. And so who is this? American Health Services need to take a page out of their book and do that here, because then they're just going to track a wide variety of applications of people who say they can do this. Okay, positive attitude with patient and staff relationships. Now this is sounding like mine, but it's not. Positive attitude with patients and staff relations. They need to say something like fostering a healthy and supportive work environment to block the people who don't know how to do that. Because let me just skip forward to some of these questions and why I've worded them this way. When you do it this way, when these, I don't like this one, I'm gonna delete this. When you write the descriptions like this in a better way, you're gonna ask questions directly related to these points about the job. So how do you foster a healthy work environment? How do you avoid conflict? And if conflict ensues, how do you actually manage it? Go step by step of how they do that. Okay. Perform duties assigned by the program director and clinical manager. Adhere to, see, I would even ask in the interview, how do you adhere to all federal, state, county accreditation and program regulations? Okay. So, what are they asking here? Interpersonal and communication skills. Demonstrates therapeutic communication skills and professional boundaries. I think I have one about boundaries. Understanding principles of trauma informed care and building rapport with clients while maintaining appropriate boundaries. I think this one would be a lot better than what they wrote here. Okay, focusing on resolving conflict constructively rather than assigning blame. Oh, I love this one. I gotta look into American Health Services. I love my job right now, let me be clear, but just to work with them in general because I like what I'm hearing so far. Maintains strict patient confidentiality, remains open to feedback, diverse. Okay, this one I don't like because it's too broad. Everyone's gonna say, yeah, I'm open to feedback, yeah, I'm diverse, yeah, I'm gonna continue growing. They need to break down what this looks like, each one, because shouldn't all be in one. Diverse perspectives, I'm curious to see what they mean by that. Are they trauma informed? Is this a safe space for minority communities and LGBTQ? I would be more curious to find out what they mean by that so they could deter people who are racist and homophobic. They don't have to, they could say it in the way that is legal because it's in a way that they feel represents their company. But diverse perspectives, I feel like, now I don't know American Health Services, but sometimes the word diverse is a cop out for really addressing systemic issues and treatment where they need to really have people who are culturally competent. So that one's don't like it. Organizes and schedules tasks to meet with patient care and compliance deadlines. Anticipates resource needs and coordinates services. Okay, so this is pretty good. I would give it like a B plus because there are some areas as I gave some feedback on. All right. So, unfortunately, I just lost I don't even know where it is. It fell somewhere, but my gold, my adornment. Let's talk about some questions that you should be asking in the interview, kind of going along with what I just said. So by updating the job description to really demonstrate what it takes to be a case manager, I know you think that anyone can do it. It's not true. And if we raise the standard, and by raising the standard, I'm not talking about someone who has 10 years of a corporate background or someone who only has a traditional background. You can have a non-traditional background. You can be in recovery. You can come from a different field and have randomly studied psychology. There's so many people from diverse backgrounds, traditional, non-traditional, who can do the job, but then there's a lot of people who cannot. Okay, so number one, we talked about updating your job description. So these are some questions to ask. Stop asking behavioral questions. So stop asking, what will you do if a client is in crisis? So that's a good question. That one, but all the other questions of, what would you do if a client says he doesn't want to show up, but you need him to show up? What can you do if a client doesn't want a UA, but they need a UA? What are you going to do if a mother calls you screaming? All of that requires training, and just because someone says the right answer doesn't mean that they can actually do that. So that requires training. That requires your facility to take initiative of training people how to respond in these sorts of situations. What you need to ask, and what most freaking interviewers do not ask in the behavioral health field, are ethical based questions. There may be a question. No, when I hear people talk about their case management interviews, I've had multiple case management interviews. I've never been asked straight up ethical questions. And when I mean ethical questions, I'm not talking about one about HIPAA or one about not dating your clients. Even though you guys need to address that too. There's shady stuff in the streets. Okay. You need to be asking questions such as, how would you respond to a client discussing an unsafe situation that they are involved in, such as drinking and driving their kid to school? How would you respond in a counseling session to a client saying that? Something like that, where you're not just looking for them to understand that they have to report that. You're looking to see their have shine a light on their ethos, because you need to be empathetic and you need to report, like, we know that. But also, are you going to squirm? There's something, it shows about your thought process of when you're met with something that's going to make you uncomfortable, because that's an uncomfortable thing to hear. Reporting is uncomfortable, but you still have to do that. How does this person think? You're not looking, oh, did they say this and that? No. How do they think? And as long as they don't say something completely off the wall, you can train and educate on the job, but you need to understand how this person thinks. Also, if a staff member is gossiping about a personal detail about a client and giggling with other staff members, how would you respond? You need to talk about hostile work environments. How do you foster a healthy environment? How do you prevent toxicity in your work environment? These are ethical based questions, and not just the very obvious ones that you know you can't share information with little Susie who's calling this facility random, right? Okay. So ethical based questions, less behavioral based questions and more ethical based in terms of what does it reveal about their ethos? What would you do if you saw one of your counselors saying that they did a service and documenting for a service that they didn't do? What would you do? Okay. Next one is do a project-based email and case management note task. Do project-based email and case management note tasks. This is not a part of any interview process that I've been in this field. You need to have them some sort of very easy task, like only do it for the people you're interested in. Don't waste people's time. Like, don't have it part of the application, because first of all, they're just gonna ChatGPT and Claude it. I don't think does Claude do that? Anyways, for the people who you're actually interested in, have them do a project-based email task. So how would you respond to these 3 separate emails? Maybe one from one of your coworkers who's going off on you, one from maybe a client who is demanding that you do something that hour, 3 to a outside professional like a PO who's giving you an update. How would you respond? And it's not about having the perfect response. It's about seeing, first of all, how they communicate. Are they able to communicate professionally? Can they write well? And also, are they detail oriented? And can they communicate effectively, communicating those details? It's not about perfection. You don't have to be, something perfect, but you can see if someone is able to do that or not. It's going to be very obvious. And case management note tasks, again, you can train people, but at least see if they even have the bones and the skills to be able to execute on however your facility does it. Maybe give a service description or a vignette about a service that happened, or a vignette about a crisis that happened, or a vignette about a call that had to be created. What would be the case management note? And some better instructions, but these are just some examples. This is to show if they could actually do the job well, okay? And then lastly, ask leadership-based questions. How do you demonstrate initiative when you're given few instructions? How would you train an intern to learn how to do your job? It's not about answering, again, these questions perfectly. It's showing their leadership potential, because as a case manager, you are an independent worker. You're responsible for your caseload. You're responsible for your clients. You have to be a leader. It's not about a title. It's about a mentality. And yes, there's going to be people who are natural leaders. And I'm not talking about you have to be the leader. I'm saying you have to have some leadership skills. And leadership skills doesn't mean you're fully going to go start your own thing. It just means that it shows that you can take initiative and problem solve, and that you can see the bigger picture and be consistent and disciplined. So these are just some examples. Let me just repeat them. So make sure, ask less behavioral questions focused on how would you respond in this situation, and ask more ethical based questions that reveal the heart, the mindset, and the ethos of the person. Project-based email tasks, case management note tasks as part of the interview process. and also asking, oh, I skipped one, asking project-based behavioral questions. So how would you tackle this project? You have 4 clients. They all need a treatment plan in 2 days, but you also have to do 4 intakes for 4 new clients. How are you going to approach that project? Another project could be you have to discharge 10 clients, and you also are behind on 3 treatment plans for a client, and you have to run 2 groups this week. Like, how would you tackle that? And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just about you're trying to see the way that they think. If they say a response, give a response that doesn't align with your operations. That's something you can train. If they give a response that's crazy, that shows like, oh no, you can't do this job. Okay. All right. Take it or leave it. A lot of y'all take it because you didn't ask the right question. And then leadership-based questions to show how they take initiative. And don't ask, how do you take initiative? You need to ask a leadership-based question, such as, how would you train an intern? Things like that. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to rehab your rehab, I have a step-by-step process doing that as a consultant. Look at the information in the description box and contact me if you're ready to level up. Hi, I'm just reminding you there's a download in the description, and not only do I have sample job descriptions, I already have for you examples of project-based questions to ask, as well as email-based questions to ask and case management note tasks to ask.